I don't know. I'm still trying to process everything I just saw, but
it'd make for a great reaction video.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I'm. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing now. But like, so hi again, here with Jon again. So we just I just watched a movie for the first time. You want to introduce it?
Oh yeah, it's a little masterpiece called "FREDDY Got Fingered."
A masterpiece is definitely a term.
Yeah, but you see, it is a masterpiece because it's this deep emotional journey of how a man is just trying to prove his manhood to his father, because to his father, being productive to society is all that matters. And Gordy, when he sees the horse's erect penis, it just makes him...
Not even 10 minutes into the movie.
Yes, he sees that, and he sees it as the symbol of manhood, which is why he's immediately drawn to it and runs out and grabs it and says, "Look at me, Daddy, I'm a farmer, Daddy." The farmer being the hardworking, productive member of society that his father wants him to be. And then at the end of the movie, his arc pays off and comes to an end when he manages to use the skills he acquired from molesting the horse earlier on an elephant to make the elephant ejaculate onto his father, and thus the fruits of his manly labor have covered his father, and only then does his father realize his son's potential and see the value in his son. Just, it's beautiful. It really touched my heart. What do you think?
How the hell did you make what we just saw sound deep and pretentious?
Because it's there, like, and again, not to sound pretentious or like a dick, but like it's there, and it's not even trying to hide it, because his dad is this one-dimensional character who's just like, you gotta have a job, and if you don't have a job, you're trash. And
I mean, majority of the characters are pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Our main character, I think, Gordy, I think his name is, played by the genius comedian Tom Green. I think he has too many dimensions to him, quite honestly. Like I said, not even 10 minutes in, and it's already pretty clear that he's not exactly mentally right in the head, I guess, is the nicest term for it. He's
a habitual liar to start with.
That's one way of putting it.
And on top of all his other eccentricities of him just like wanting to make a fool of himself in public, and like again with wanting to assert his manhood with the salami penis, ding dong, and like just generally making a scene. And the funny thing with this movie is Gord never has any consequences for anything.
Yo, for real, like he literally gets arrested, and then like he gets dragged away by the police, I think.
Yeah.
And then the very next scene, he's walking out with the Betty, is her name. Which Betty is honestly like the one character I actually kind of cared for.
I find it interesting that you found any of the characters in this movie likable.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it like literally every character is like pretty messed up, but with her, like, my thing about her is like, yeah, her little kink about like being liked being hit in her knees that she can't feel. Shin, sorry. Like, yeah, that part's a little off, but like, what I liked about her was that, you know, despite being handicapped in a wheelchair, you know, she was still like a very optimistic person. She was trying to, you know, like follow her dreams, even though it is even harder because of her disability. But like, I mean, yeah, that's one likable thing. But then you have everything else in this movie that, I mean, I just like, how do I put it? Like, because like you were saying, like I was saying before, I definitely liked this movie more than I thought I would. I expected to either just hate everything about this movie, or I expected to maybe enjoy the movie in, like, you know, a so bad it's good way, but this movie was just its own category. It was its own ballpark. Like, it was like, you know, you have movies that fit in the so bad it's good, the movies that are supposed to be terrible, the, you know, like, even movies like Battlefield Earth and The Room, like, kind of feel like they belong in a subcategory. Like, this is literally just, oh, Freddy Got Fingered? Yeah, no, that's over there. Like, this feels like a movie that sits by itself. And just, like, is kind of just chilling back there, like, yeah, I'm the anti-movie of Hollywood, fuck all y'all.
Yeah, the thing with this movie is you have to have a very specific sense of humor to find it funny, because I like showing this movie to people like I just did to Mark here. I've shown it to a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of different reactions, and I've shown it to at least 2 people who, like, laugh at the jokes and think the jokes are really funny, and at the end of the movie they're like, you know what, that was pretty funny, I'd give that a 6 out of 10. And then there's just people who are like, that was an abomination of cinema, 0, maybe generous 1 because it was technically a movie.
I've definitely seen, like, a lot worse. Like,
yeah,
I think VelociPastor was definitely worse than this.
Yeah,
like, this actually felt like,
yeah,
it felt like
this
Tom Green had, you know, that this was the vision the whole time, and he achieved it, whatever the vision was. But whereas, again, the VelociPastor was just like, oh, we're going to pretend to be serious here, we're going to pretend to not be. Then again, this movie does have moments like that too, like the birth scene in the hospital.
This movie has better tree consistency than VelociPastor, because VelociPastor had this random deciduous forest that was supposed to be China, even though it just looks like some random place in the northeast U.S.
It looked like the woods that I used to go with.
But this film, Freddy Got Fingered, set in Oregon, and the trees in the background are these pine forests like you would find in Oregon. So right away, they're on the right track with that.
I mean, that is definitely something this movie did better. Trying to think. I mean, yeah. So things I liked. Again, I thought the character of Betty, to how, bizarre certain things with her were, I thought she was at least decent. Rip Torn is literally just a one-dimensional, like, if you don't have a job, you're worthless kind of character. Pretty sure he's going insane throughout the movie. I mean, Tom Green, to how psychopathic his character was, I do think he does a good job in the movie. I remember pointing out before, the cinematography is kind of better than it should be. Yeah. Like, there are actually some really good shots in this. And again, this movie definitely had a better budget than VelociPastor.
It's not like a Gaspar Noé film. It's not like Roger Deakins was the DP on it, but like it was competently shot.
With the exception of that one time where their color palette was off. when he was talking to Drew Barrymore, which, like, I'm so sorry, Drew Barrymore. Like, I feel bad for her. I really do. Yeah, like, but honestly, like, I really don't know where I stand, where if I want to say that this movie's bad or if it's good. Well, because, like, again, I do understand what the movie is trying to be. It's trying to be an anti-comedy. It's trying to be, like, edgy and whatnot. I also, one thing we pointed out was how pre-9/11 this movie is.
Yeah, he just strolls into this office building with this suspicious backpack.
The one joke where he was handing the one bag over and he's like, wait, is that a bomb? No, it's not a bomb. It's like, like, that didn't age well. But there's a lot of stuff in this movie that this whole movie really has not. Would you say this movie hasn't exactly aged well, or?
Well, it's a product of its time, and here's my thing with this movie.
So is Space Jam, and
well, it's also, I think this movie has layers to it, and there is legitimate artistic merit to this film, because it's a very anti-Hollywood movie, and it's the anti-Hollywood movie because it's just, like, basically it's very meta in its presentation of how Tom Green is this annoying character, and he goes to Hollywood, and he basically, with very little effort, is able to get this ridiculous project greenlit, and he spends his money on all this ridiculous stuff, kind of like how Tom Green kind of rose to fame, because people, I forget who said it, but someone was like, Tom Green should be flipping burgers somewhere, like he shouldn't even be on television. But, like, that's basically what Freddy Got Fingered was, though, because Fox approached him. They're like, here's $15 million, do whatever you want, make a movie.
I actually do remember hearing about that. Like,
and this movie is the metaphorical helicopter ride, Jules, and sending your dad's house to Pakistan.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right.
And, like, I don't think this movie's a masterpiece. I don't think it's, like, flawless. No. Because, again, Gordy should have been arrested at least twice. Once for the restaurant. He was arrested for the restaurant thing. No, he should have been fired at least twice. Once for the cheese sandwich factory, and again at the cheese sandwich shop. He should have been arrested once for the baby, once for
the restaurant. I think he was arrested for that, but the very next scene he's already out. I mean, I guess that counts. Like, it's just there's some of those inconsistencies I can kind of get past.
Yeah.
But, like, then again, the insanity that is this movie, you kind of, like, those little things there seem extremely small. Like, and, like, compared to everything else that's going on, I mean, literally, like we said earlier, 10 minutes, like, not even 10 minutes in, and he's jerking off a horse.
Yeah.
And then the very end of the movie, he's jerking off an elephant. And then we have this, like, emotional scene between him and his father. His father's covered in elephant semen the whole time. And I just... I think that was supposed to be, like, implicit humor there. Well, yeah, but it's just... It's the absurdity.
But it's also beautiful because only when his father is touched by the fruits of his labor does he finally realize.
I see what you did there. I mean, I guess if you look on it on, like, a very deep metaphorical level, yeah. I don't know if I've reached that.
That's how I like to look at this.
I don't know if
it's the story of a young man trying to win his father's approval, but what if that young man was
a psychopath?
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, we could say that this is pretty much, like, I mean, the amount of jokes we made already while watching it, like, it's almost as if we're watching, like, the real life story of John Kricfalusi.
Yeah, all his animations and his style of humor have a very John K. vibe to them.
Yeah, in both a good and a bad way, but I don't think I need to go into that. If you know about anything about John K., that should pretty much tell you everything about this movie.
Yeah, but Gordy is a weirdly abstinent character. Like typically, like in media, the guy would be depicted as like, oh yeah, this girl wants to give me a blowjob even though she's in a wheelchair, but Gordy resists it and he wants that emotional connection.
That was actually kind of nice to see, that he's at least got some redeemable quality, and he just doesn't want to just be like, you know what, a crippled girl sucking my dick, nice, but like so I can again, another thing I can give the character, but like, I'm sorry, the character's still a nut job.
Yeah, and like, to be fair to Tom Green, and I listened to the audio commentary on the DVD, and it was fairly insightful, because to give him credit, some of this stuff, some of these ideas I would have found very tempting and funny, like the restaurant scene, he says, is based on something he and his friend did when they were 16 or 17, where they went to this fancy restaurant, they wore their dad's suits, they printed up these fake bar graphs and spreadsheets to pretend they were doing business, and they had their landline phone pretending it was a cell phone and yelling, "I said you're fired! You're fucking fired, Bob!"
That would honestly be like a really cool prank to do, honestly.
And that leads me to and the "don't touch my shoulder" in the hospital when the doctor grabs him and he says, "Don't touch my shoulder." That's a very obscure inside joke he has with another friend of his, which is not, the average audience moviegoer is not going to get that, but it's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, well, okay, I can see why he did it there.
I mean, I guess part of me feels like I need to like listen to that commentary. I feel like I need to like know because you obviously know like a lot more like behind the scenes with the movie. You know a lot about like some of the reasons certain things are the way they are, and I feel like if I get onto your level with everything, I could actually see the genius that you see, if that's the right way to put it. But I mean, for the very first time, like, I'm really stuck. Like, I don't really know how I fully feel.
Now, something that may help you form an opinion on this, and it's something I never really thought about until Sardonicast brought it up on their podcast, because that movie was discussed on their podcast not too long ago. Yeah. And something Adam brought up was the Tom Green show was this, like, Borat style thing where he interacted with the general public and got people's genuine reactions, and Freddy Got Fingered is all staged, and that, he argued, was the film's fundamental problem, because no one really reacts to the crazy stuff he's doing. Like you and I were saying throughout the movie, like, that's a very mild reaction someone would have to something like that, and I do kind of agree.
Maybe if he made this movie in like Jackass style, where like they had like hidden cameras places and like they did it on more like reality route, then maybe it would be a bit more. Yeah. I don't want to say praised, but like, I guess it wouldn't be seen as this atrocity to Hollywood, as a lot of people see it. But I don't know. I feel like I have to like maybe watch the movie again at some point. But
I don't know if that would be necessarily true, because no matter how you present it, Gordy's character will always just be a psycho.
I mean,
and the reason people love Borat, and the reason like Borat and even Bruno kind of get away with it is because they're the weird foreigners who don't know anything about America.
Whereas this guy's literally like American.
Yeah. But by the way, Bruno, I think, is extremely underrated, and that movie is hilarious to me. Like, I love politically incorrect humor, and that movie's filled with it, and I laugh my ass off every time I watch it.
Yeah, I saw that. I only saw Bruno once, like way back. Borat's obviously the one that I've seen several times, but I need to watch Bruno again sometime. But all right, so I guess to wrap it up, 1 to 10.
I gave it a 4, which I think is reasonable for what it is.
That's fair. I was thinking like 4, maybe a generous 5. Like 5 because like I said like earlier that I'm like really in the middle. Like I don't know how to feel, and to me like a 5 is really like neutral. But yeah, no, like I think a 4 is definitely a good score. Like I said, it was way better than the last movie we watched, so I can at least give it points for that. But I mean, unfortunately, I'm not on that level of understanding, like peeling the layers back and seeing the genius that you see.
Yeah, but from your perspective, you would also think of it like that Lasagna Cat video, 7/27/1978, I think it is, where like he takes this 3-panel comic and just BS's an hour's worth of analysis out of it.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah.
The background, you'll notice, is red, but the carpet is green, and cats are red-green colorblind. And when I learned this realization blew my mind.
So you said red and green, and I thought like it was like gonna be like a Christmas reference or something.
No.
But
because Garfield himself is blind. I forget exactly the interpretation they made, but it was pretty fun.
I guess to wrap the thing up, do you want to do the whole thank you for watching thing?
Oh yeah. Make sure you leave a mean comment, and make sure you dislike this video, and if you're subscribed, unsubscribe, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button just so you can hit it again to unsubscribe.
And
your channel analytics are going to look very interesting after you post this video.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, your sub count's going to be like...
And the link to his channel will be in the description. We'll see you in the next video.
Alright.